Et yo les gens, c'est Alice pour la suite de Call of Juarez, Gunslinger.
One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street.
Carrément.
Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition. Well, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just...
J'ai des alliés, tiens.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
We got us a hero. Put some holes in him!
Bonjour les filles. J'aime bien le six shooter incrusté. Oh, j'aime bien ces phases d'enfonçage de porte.
But everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Bien sûr.
First
M'étonne un peu.
it's high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. They met an adversary that day who had no fear and offered them no quarter. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually.
T'es gentil, mais qui raconte l'histoire déjà? Et comment je rentre dans la banque si je suis sur le toit?
But those boys had a reputation as stone-cold killers, so the marshals took every precaution, knowing they wouldn't go easy.
That's it for you!
The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait till something bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals.
Super, merci, une échelle, c'est gentil.
One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting.
Ok, d'accord. Je savais pas que c'était pas moi qui racontais l'histoire,
A
hein.
moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Bonjour.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Ok, c'est vachement bien, mais...
Davy Crockett,
Is
died
that Silent
defending the
Breed?
Alamo.
Son of a bitch!
Moi, je m'en fous, hein, tant que c'est classe.
Hide, you really little son of a bitch! You're a goner!
Oui. Je suis en train de choisir mes armes, t'attends, oui. Pépite de verre. Ah, voilà. Je viens pas de voler ce qu'il y a dans le coffre, là, techniquement. Ok, bon. Ceci étant fait, boum.
Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Bon, au final, je suis juste passé par le toit cette fois, mais le résultat est le même, hein.
His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Je croyais que c'était moi, Silas. Je pense que je peux raconter mon histoire.
Kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
Vous allez la raconter combien de fois cette histoire?
It was early evening, not high noon. The Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeyville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Thank you. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville. Go ahead.
Je peux plus défoncer les portes. Oh. Tu m'expliques pourquoi j'ai pas pu tirer dessus? Ah oui. Le scénario.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose it. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons, and they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons, which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way.
C'est compliqué votre histoire.
Caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Salut. J'aime bien, c'est ralenti, c'est fun. Ça me rappelle la maison du début, ça. C'est la même chose. Oui, alors la pépite de vérité proche, je la trouve pas. Ah. Merci. Oui, bon, alors poursuivre les Daltons, c'est où? Ah.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Est-ce que j'ai réellement survécu à ça? Non, parce que je crois pas que j'étais censé me planquer là en vrai. Mais bon.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Reeves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Je m'enfuis.
Gonna beat you like a red-headed stepchild.
Bon, il est simple. Vraiment.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
Ok, on va dire que je l'ai pas buté.
But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Nice, j'ai trouvé 3 pépites de vérité sur 3.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track them to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was
Piège, ça.
all right. Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Nice.
It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Je suis en Louisiane là, c'est ça? Ça ressemble un peu à la Louisiane hein, quand même.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.
Ok d'accord, vous m'avez fait peur là.
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Nice. Qui c'est qui aurait voulu construire dans ce tas de merde? Vraiment.
Bury them in the swamp. Plant them where they stand.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm.
Et qui ont réussi à me faire du mal parce que j'ai oublié d'esquiver.
He's killing everybody.
Ouais.
Get out of here. I'm leaving you.
Excuse-moi, je suis en train de vérifier mes armes. Tu peux attendre ton tour.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Ta gueule.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Ouais. De ce côté-là. Bon, faut que je trouve le moyen de me planquer. Je vois rien, je sais pas où sont les mecs. Ah voilà. En plein cœur en tirant depuis derrière. Enfin, comment j'ai fait ça, hein, mais... Bon, je vais prendre ce carabine pour changer. Ouais. J'adore la musique des level up. Oh. L'idée de l'arme qui suit automatiquement à dynamite.
Point being, I was under serious attack. My reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
C'est pas grave, j'ai pas besoin de renfort. Traînées de sang qui volent. Je suis d'accord, il est temps que tu meurs. C'est bon, j'ai tué tout le monde. C'est cool.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
Quelle chance!
But just ended up falling inside.
Oui, bah évidemment.
How did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon...
L'autre s'est endormi.
Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Les Indiens. Quoi, les Indiens?
Indians? They were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Je crois que je suis sur le bon chemin.
Bounty hunters! Stop that,
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
D'accord, faut peut-être m'avertir quand il y a une dynamite à mes pieds, hein.
Bounty hunters! Stop that,
Mais c'est quoi qui me tue?
Bounty hunters! Stop that,
D'accord, j'ai trouvé ce qui me tuait.
What's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Arrête avec ta putain de dynamite. C'est bon. On peut passer. Mais je ne me cache pas. C'est ça que vous avez pas compris, je ne me cache pas. T'as le premier à me dire que je suis mort. Excuse-moi, mais comment je t'ai pas touché toutes ces fois là? Tu peux m'expliquer?
What are you gonna do? You ain't bothering me none. Damn! Waste your bullets. Go ahead.
Pas de soucis, vous voulez utiliser un bouclier, hein. C'est de la dynamite. Aïe. Des fois ils savent pas tirer pendant 10 ans et tout d'un coup ils touchent toutes leurs balles. Oh putain, vous avez pas une autre carabine? Ouh, il se reproduira plus jamais. Pour... Il est où? C'est ça le truc, je ne le vois pas, il est où?
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere.
Oh,
Standing.
les carabiniers sont un poil plus résistants. Ouais. Bon bah je vais prendre ça hein. Okay. Non, je préfère ce fusil là, y a pas à chier hein. Je suis pas fan de l'ambiance marécage.
That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board.
Ok.
It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Tu sais, une fois mort, tous les visages se ressemblent hein. Il est où? Ah là.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Ouais. On va les faire regretter. Ah, mais il se prenait pour qui, lui?
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
J'aime comment il y a un truc, quand tu te fais péter, ça fait juste boum. Oh, nice. Oh. Nope. Eh ben, il a connu des jours meilleurs, ce bateau. Il a vraiment connu des jours meilleurs, ce bateau.
Right about then, much to my relief,
Putain, il a eu de la chance que je sache pas tirer, hein.
their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
Ok, d'accord.
The Daltons had played me like a
After
fiddle.
all this,
Apparently the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in
About that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
We're
when I'm-
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too bad.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic...
Oui, oui, le Titanic est totalement insubmersible.
Getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Ok, là vous me prenez par les sentiments. Là vous me prenez par les sentiments avec une Gatling. C'est fun.
Bottom grads weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Alors, ils ont tiré un peu vite. Je savais pas trop où je devais focaliser en vrai. Je dois focaliser où? Mais je comprends pas où je dois focaliser en vrai quand il y en a deux.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death.
Ouais, bah victoire, la déloyale va te faire foutre, hein. C'est bon. Ils étaient deux. C'est pas loyal d'être deux déjà de base, alors c'est bon le jeu, hein.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night,
Juarez.
my brothers retired for the evening. I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the wild bunch.
C'est pour ça que le jeu s'appelle Call of Juarez.
I'd been on their trail for months.
Bah,
Since they left their
point de
hideout.
contrôle, on va s'arrêter là les gens. Donc voilà, si cette vidéo vous a plu, vous pouvez laisser un j'aime, commenter, vous abonner, à partager sur vos réseaux sociaux, tels que Facebook et Twitter, à la mettre en favori, tout ça me ferait énormément plaisir. Vous pouvez aussi me rejoindre sur serveur Discord qui est dans la description de la vidéo. Voilà, sur ce, moi je crois que je vous ai tout dit, donc c'était Ice. Portez-vous bien, bye bye.